First of all,
That's
the
like-
music, which
that's like-
is
Never close roll 20.
not the usual kind of music I have set for this. But it's still something I figured would be appropriate.
I mean, we are going to space.
Should have just pulled up the Stellaris soundtrack.
Next time.
Well, last time you all had moments of reflection and then determined that your next step would be to brave the depths of the abyss and attempt to discover the secret of the bottom of the abyss from one of the few creatures in the multiverse who might know the answer to that particular riddle: the demon princes. After some deliberation, you decided that your best bet would be to find a piece of arcane and forgotten lore that would entice Demogorgon, Prince of Demons himself, into providing an equivalent exchange, so to speak. However, there's the little matter of figuring out where to find a piece of arcane and forgotten lore. And so you have determined, as players, more so than as characters, that the best place to go from here would be space.
Yeah, fuck's Planescape, we're doing Spelljammer.
I'm in.
I don't think Bobbin's complaining either.
Nope. In addition to deciding where to go, you've also decided who to bring with you. In this case, Lorem is busy, so Silky and Harvey will be accompanying you this time.
Oh, I can see Aurelia's numbers now. Always handy.
And incidentally, although you do have 2 spell-jamming vessels at this point, Harvey cautions you to go with the Lamprey rather than the Man of War, because in space above Mynth is the Elven Imperial Navy, and they may have some questions you don't want to answer if you take a Man of War, which is very specifically an Elven kind of ship,
Yeah.
into space where they would inspect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably raise uncomfortable questions. Even if that flying rock did deserve to crash.
Let's face it, the real reason that Lorem doesn't want to come is because the last time we went above a certain atmosphere, he started freaking out, and he doesn't want to go through that again.
Well, I suppose that wouldn't help, no. But with that in mind, you quite simply take off from the surface, leaving the planet of Mynth below you. And this time you don't stop. This time you aren't hopping from one spot on the globe to another. You're heading straight up. However, you don't head up straight. You don't head straight up for very long before one of your crew members happens to spot a elven vessel heading straight for you.
We've dealt with them before.
Mm-hmm. You aren't directly above the elven continent this time, but in this case, you've been up in space long enough to get their attention.
God damn it. Fucking hate elves.
It's not a big deal. We'll just
Elves
go
suck.
over and say hello.
I mean, yeah, we might as well.
I
think we have to.
I will say on this occasion, you don't have any sort of contraband on board.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, the last time we had contraband, like, they were like, oh, okay. Yeah, you're freeing slaves, whatever. Who cares?
Well, the thing is that it was contraband in the sense that we wanted it to be contraband, so it was not really contraband anymore.
All right, and so yes, there's a familiar operation where the crew of the other ship hails you using a message spell that cuts between the void between ships. You align your two vessels so that the plane of gravity is at the similar point on each ship. And a small crew of elven marines hops on board your vessel and starts poking around.
Mm-hmm.
While the lieutenant in charge speaks to you and the crew personally.
Aurelia introduces herself.
And what brings a prince of the southern hemisphere up into space?
So, I mean, we knew this was coming, so I assume we would have had time to discuss whether we, like, how much we would want to say exactly. Not because we necessarily would need to keep it a secret, but more just because it might sound kind of crazy.
Believe it or not, we're trying to save a giant worm from eating time.
Okay, well, we definitely don't need to explain that part.
Space tourism.
We're exploring.
Space tourism.
Yeah.
We've had this ship for a little while, but we have not had the opportunity to go up into outer space, as it were. So we want to see what's out there for ourselves.
All about that wanderlust.
Huh. Is that so? And here I was figuring you'd heard about the Solarian race.
The what?
What race?
The who?
The Solarian race. Well, it's a mite odd for it to be happening now. It's only been 4 years since the last one. But apparently Lady Solara has made a bit of an exception.
I don't know who that is, or what you're talking about.
Really?
Well, as I said, we're not exactly familiar with how things work up here, or out here.
Ah, well.
It might be safe to say this is our first time.
Yeah, I was making some assumptions. I mean, that you got a fine ship here. Bit under-equipped for actually being in the race, but she seems a bit nice and solid. Well, from what I recall, the idea is that Lady Solara achieved enlightenment some 4,000 years ago, and instead of heading up into whatever sort of higher plane or whatnot you're supposed to do when you achieve enlightenment,
She just decided to see sick races?
No.
That sounds like real enlightenment to me.
She decided to stick around to help us others find the same enlightenment that she did.
By throwing sick races?
No.
Well, welcome to the Space Buddha Classic.
Some thousand years ago or so, she decided that she would answer any question that someone asked her once every 10 years, as completely as she possibly could. And, well, she drew no distinction between who asked her, except in that if it's from the same folks as asked her last time, she'd wait for a new sort of person to show up. And, well, the Navy decided to keep her, since that's a valuable resource to have. But every time they tried to pin her down in one location, she found her way out.
I mean, as you do.
And then after that happened, she refused to answer any question posed by the Navy for the next 100 years. So that taught them. And ever since then, they had the idea of running a race, so that whoever got to the end first would get to ask her the question.
I see. So who controls the race and access to her then?
I'd say in a way she does, but I'm not too knowledgeable on the specifics. The Elven Navy always runs a vessel in each race, but it isn't ours. But you know, if you head over to the moon, just over that way, you'll find a Elven Imperial outpost. I'm sure someone there could tell you more.
Is this the moon of Mynth?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
The only other stellar body you can currently see which is a disk rather than a point of light. Aside from, of course, the sun.
Moon confirmed for flat.
A disk moon.
Earth is flat.
Confirmed for flat. Yes. Sun is
All right then. Well,
You say that, but in some cases the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just afraid of the Elven Imperial Navy just going AO, 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 H. Oh no, it's a Chinese earthquake. Brr, 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 brr.
What?
It's a glorious
Some
video.
real garbage videos.
Okay.
It's a glorious
Alright.
shitpost of a video of what was it, Moonbase Alpha?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It
what
has
that
a
is.
text-to-speech function, and people find that shit hilarious, myself included.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Something about something simple minds.
Yeah.
You're not
Have
incorrect.
fun. That's what matters.
All right. Well, I guess we can do that then. Thank you for giving us this very clearly labeled plot thread. Convenient, Lieutenant. I don't really think we have anything more to talk to this particular person about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And the
Bless you.
and the Marines fairly soon come back up and say they found no contrabands or anything on board.
Good to know.
Don't even know what classifies as contraband.
Well, you mostly
Slaves.
you mostly got food and supplies, so not those.
Look, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, it's probably better that Lily doesn't know what contraband is.
Still not really clear what gives these guys the right to, like, police our planet, but okay.
The answer is they have guns.
The answer is they're elves.
Yeah, I guess. And they are an Imperial Navy. Alright, well, I mean, I do have some general questions about, like, space. But it might be better to leave that to someone else whose job it is. I'm sure this person needs to go inspect more ships or something. So let's head to the moon. See what's over there. Are these people colonizing our moon? Because it's ours.
They're colonizing whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Maybe I should claim the moon for Viana.
That's the struggle of dealing with an Imperial Navy, really, is that they will take whatever they fucking want.
Listen. The first thing we need to establish is how many ghosts are on the moon. Is the moon haunted?
No, it's not haunted. That'd be dumb.
Is the moon made of meat? This is also very important.
Is it a quantum moon? Oh no, you guys won't get that on either. Fuck.
No, instead I just reference cursed things like Dead Space 3.
I'll tell you what is on the moon. There are whalers on the moon.
Yes.
Oh no.
They carry a harpoon.
Do they tell tall tales?
But there are some whales.
Oh, okay.
There are space whales.
On the moon?
No, in space.
Yeah, in space.
Okay, well,
there are
so
space whales.
there ain't no whales on the moon then.
You don't fuck with space whales.
All right, let's go meet these whalers on the moon.
You don't fuck with space whales.
Is it like the equivalent of like a random Norwegian whaling base in the South Atlantic or something? Look, that's how Ernest Shackelford fucking survived Antarctica. Was he sailed to the Norwegian whaling base on God, what was the name of the island?
Oh boy.
Is it on South Georgia? I don't
Anyway,
remember.
point is,
Could be. But you go to the moon, which you know as either Antidor or Febe. And
Hey, Febe!
as you approach the surface, you realize that it is barren. A desert. Nothing but gray stone rocks and the occasional crystal formation, such as what you're seeing in the illustration, assuming Roll20 is updated for you guys.
yeah, it has.
It has.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should take some souvenirs though, especially if I'm going to have a moon wedding or whatever.
You really want a wedding here? Really?
Well, no, not here, but I'm pretty sure that wouldn't really fly politically. But
It would fly physically, though.
I just mean because the religious basis of Aurelia's gay wedding is moon marriage. So
I'll stick with a domestic partnership, thank you.
whatever.
In any event. So, you do see one settlement on the surface. You can tell because they have a large lighthouse of sorts. With a distinct green light rising high above the rest of the settlement around it.
I mean, it's a good thing they have a lighthouse. You wouldn't want someone to like crash into the moon.
Well, in this case,
that'd be fucking tragic.
In this case, it's less about reef navigation and more about being a beacon.
Right.
And here I thought it was just cursed.
All right. Well, let's head to the moon base.
Look, all I've learned is that like there's a 50% chance a lighthouse is haunted.
which would mean that the moon is haunted.
Yeah, that stat seems to line up with my experience.
But let me tell you about living in a state full of lighthouses. I can guarantee you at least 50% are haunted.
Wait, hold on. Since we are on the moon, and Lily is technically somewhat a wizard, does that make her a wizard that came from the moon?
No, I'm from the planet, you dipshit.
I just wanted to reference the only line I know from fucking that. I don't even remember what Destiny. There we go.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do, and I'm still disappointed.
Yeah.
We're wizards on the moon. We carry a harpoon.
In the original release of Destiny, Peter Dinklage like voiced the little robot that travels with you, and then you fight like some sort of wizard, and then Peter Dinklage with as much seriousness as he can muster, says that wizard came from the moon. And it was the most hilarious thing, and then they had to get rid of Peter Dinklage, and so that line isn't in there anymore.
They didn't have Peter Dinklage money.
Wait, why did they get rid of Peter Dinklage?
Because they couldn't afford him for the expansions. So they just
didn't have Peter
So
Dinklage money.
they went back and took him out of the base game?
Yeah.
No, they, I mean, yeah, kinda.
That's
It's
really
like,
weird.
They couldn't pay his royalties.
God, it's
Do you generally get royalties for video game acting? I thought that the whole thing was
If you
like
have a good agent.
yeah,
fair enough. I guess you could personally
entirely,
negotiate it or whatever.
yeah, it depends entirely on your contract. But yeah, also, it's like how Destiny 2 had Nathan Fillion, but then they killed off his character because they couldn't afford Nathan Fillion money anymore.
Is Nathan Fillion really that expensive?
Yeah, it can be.
I mean, fuck, he was like a random ass character in Jade Empire.
So
I
instead
guess that
they
was
hired...
before, like, he got big. I don't know.
So apparently
Yeah,
instead they
probably
hired Nolan North.
Who will do fucking anything, let's be honest.
He will. But regardless.
Yes, you are on the moon. The settlement is, well, it's rather rudimentary. It appears that they mostly relied on nearby moon rocks to construct the buildings. And the only really significant part of town is quite obviously the dry docks area. The place where elven vessels and other spelljammers land, are maintained, repaired, restocked, and then allowed to fly off again. It is definitely a way station kind of town.
What does a wet dock look like for a spaceship?
And you
mean,
land in water. It's very simple, actually.
Yeah, like
I guess so.
a lot of spelljammers also double as
Yeah,
like
I
regular
mean, I
ass
suppose
boats,
that's
so-
true. We have landed in water before.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, let's see if we can land. I don't know what the landing protocol is. Maybe we should have asked about that.
Well, there is a vast empty plain just around the village, so even if you don't want to land directly into one of the dock facilities, there is plenty of space for you to just sort of drop the ship safely on the ground.
Just fucking
Let's
plop it down.
do that then, I suppose. Assuming no one like gives us any instructions, which I assume you would have mentioned if they were going to. So
We are talking about fast distances here, so
fair.
just give me a second. The cat's getting kind of antsy. We've changed her bowl recently.
Oh no.
This isn't the food I'm accustomed to. Where's the food that
Not
I'm
even
accustomed
food,
to?
just bowl.
This is true.
Imagine a cat who will eat out of a bowl instead of requiring you to serve her on a human plate that you put on the counter. That's what my sister's / mom's cat does.
Okay.
Oh, my cats eat out of bowls. It's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, my cat
The problem
eats
is some
edibles.
dipshit gave one of them half and half, so now she's horribly addicted to it.
Oh no.
So at fucking 6 a.m. every morning, she'll start bitching, asking for half and half. It's bad enough when she wanted milk, but that was easy. No, then someone gave her half and
Well, you
half.
shouldn't really give her milk either. It's not really good for
She's
cats.
not lactose intolerant, so.
Oh. Okay.
No, I know. I'm well aware. Don't worry. It doesn't help also that she's an old cat who has some issues putting on weight and joint problems. So she.
Yeah, my cat. I mean, it's not really my cat, but she's pretty old, and also I think she subsists like mostly on cat treats at this point. Which is like, I'm sure it's not great for her, but it's kind of like at this point, I don't know how much difference it's going to make.
She's lived long enough. Fuck it, she earned it.
Yeah. I mean, she's like incredibly old for an outdoor cat, so.
I will also say that another big hint you have is the fact that there are several other ships parked just outside of town.
Oh, okay. Well, let's just park outside of town then. Also, last thing about the cat, she killed a seagull once.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's park outside of town and just... Wait, is there an atmosphere?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That's the important part.
Just checking.
Not that we would understand the difference.
Well, no. I mean, I think our characters would understand that you can't breathe in space unless you can in this setting.
Well, Harvey is knowledgeable enough about spell jamming conditions to explain this to you.
Yeah.
That
Okay. I was gonna say, because otherwise we'd have no way of knowing without trying.
Yeah. Number one, there is no atmosphere in space. However, every ship carries a pocket of atmosphere with it when it leaves a planet. Number two, every planet has the same gravity and atmosphere, somehow.
That's
Magic.
very handy.
The gods.
Convenient.
Blame the elves.
No.
Including asteroids.
Wait.
It's too kind for elves.
Okay, but hold on. Now I've got questions, my friend. How small can you make the asteroid?
Well, in the Spelljammer setting, there is a sort of central city that acts sort of like Sigil does for Planescape, and it's called the Rock of Brawl. And I just love saying that name. Rock of Brawl.
Rock a brawl.
And it is an asteroid with a city on one side and a farming community on the other side. Because it's small enough that it has a gravity plane like a ship does, instead of everything, instead of gravity pushing you down towards the center, it pushes down towards a plane.
So if you jump... Okay, I'm not going to think about this too much.
Can you turn an asteroid into a spelljammer?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Dwarves.
Oh, fuck it!
No,
Yes!
no, we're going to stop talking about these things now before my brain explodes trying to understand it.
I'm pretty sure.
This is like trying to figure out how in Mass Effect 3 a planet's orbital distance can be classified.
I'm pretty sure also dwarves have weaponized asteroids, which I'm pretty sure is highly illegal on Earth for some reason. Like they
that sounds like a fucking war crime and a half.
Yeah,
On
does. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could use an asteroid to just... I mean, that's a real thing people have talked about in like science fiction and stuff. You could just use an asteroid to basically wipe out all life on a planet very easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still
Just drop
forever a
some
fan
rocks
of
into the atmosphere.
the rods from God. Those are my favorite always.
But yeah, dwarves carve asteroids out from the inside, creating... And the act of carving things out and making things from them powers their forge spelljammer and allows the asteroid to move.
Okay, but that's fucking sick as hell.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, anyway.
And again, all of
can't
this
think
can
about
be in
this.
character. Harvey Plano.
Assume that Aurelia's reaction is basically like my own. Freaked out at the idea of any of this.
Like, if I recall correctly, I don't know too much about spelljammers, but like, don't dwarves basically live in like giant, like floating pyramids that are essentially cities?
That is what I was talking about, yes.
Oh, okay.
Although there are also giant floating pyramids.
Huh.
Usually it's mummies or liches who take those out for a spin.
Spooky.
God, space liches sound terrible.
I don't see why they'd be any worse than regular liches, to be honest. Wait, we've never met a lich. Well, okay, I mean, Harvey sort of.
We've met a lich, yeah. Harvey is a lich.
I guess. He's not a regular lich, though.
He is a lich,
Harvey
though.
is not a lich.
Really?
Oh, I thought he was like a variation of a lich. Okay, my mistake.
Well, the way I managed to cheat death is distinct from lichdom.
Okay, so we've never met a lich.
I don't get quite as many perks. But we have met a lich, the Draco Lich.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
right, he was a lich. I forgot about that. I'm sorry. That was kind of racist. I think I forgot because he was a dragon.
They've got a sort of special conditions surrounding them, too.
And I still have that skull. I mean, it's stored somewhere for safekeeping, but yeah, I still have the skull. I'll never forget the Draco Lich. He was my friend.
Which is why you stole his skull.
He gave it to me.
Well, no.
He said I could have it.
I don't think he did.
It wasn't even his skull to give anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, then that doesn't. Why? That makes it worse.
You say it like that'll stop me.
In any event, you do get down to the surface. You do find a place to park in the ultimate parking lot out here.
Now remember, everybody, we're in the itchy
ultimate
lot.
parking lot.
When do we do sick donuts in our Spelljammer? That's the whole point of like a big ass parking lot.
I am gonna have to ask them about how moon claims work. I would like Viana to have a moon colony.
All right. Well, you're about to head into town.
Yes, exactly.
What at least appears to be the only town on the entire stellar body.
The only town in game. I mean, wait. All right. Does it have like a nice little welcome sign telling us the name of the town?
Does it really need a name? It's the only town on the moon.
Everything needs a name.
No, that's the name though.
I mean, Mynth is the only planet we live on, but it still has a name.
The name is the only town on the moon, you say? Welcome back.
Hey, sorry about that.
It's okay.
But, so you enter town. There are busy people walking around, getting to their jobs, forming their jobs at the dry docks area. There are also a few... There's also something like a main street that sort of... Well, actually, it just sort of cuts straight through the center and ends at one point at the large lighthouse beacon, which has an incredibly large green flame now that you're down here and able to look up at it. It would pretty much have to be in order to catch the attention of a spelljammer.
That makes sense.
And the other side of the main street just sort of peters out. Like, the buildings just sort of stop, and the endless expanse of the lunar desert continues on past that point.
Room for growth.
To your left, with the lighthouse at your back, is the industrial sector, so to speak, the place where the dry docks and the supplies are brought down from above. This place has no natural resources aside from the stone, and so pretty much everything you see here, you have to figure came from somewhere else. On the right side is more the sort of hospitality part of town. The inns, the residences, the taverns, places for people to spend time. And as I said before, there is a certain amount of steady traffic going up and down the street, along with the side roads that lead left and right. So where you want to go is up to you.
What did the guy on the ship say
No.
about who we could talk to?
Just that there would be someone to talk to. He
Oh,
didn't give you any specific recommendations.
okay.
I mean, taverns are always a good source of information.
That's true. This is still D&D, even if we're in space.
Yeah.
Let's find the nearest wretched hive of common
You
villainy.
could just ask around the docks.
Yeah, that would be the other plan, to be honest, would be just asking around the docks, because I'm sure that
I mean,
people there know about space things on account of...
we can
travel-
The
split
constant
up.
interactions in space.
We can split up. We're not doing a dungeon crawl. Splitting the party isn't a death sentence right now.
Lily.
Well, there's not much
refuses-
reason to split up, to be honest. It's not like we're in a big rush.
True.
Let's explore. Let's check out... I mean, okay, we know that people park outside the city, so like there's no expectation probably that people like go to the docks or just some administrative place immediately. So let's just hang out in the... Let's go find a tavern or something and just sort of get the lay of the land, and then we can figure out where to go from there.
And I will also add that there are no walls around this city, and nobody challenged you as you entered town.
I mean,
the
what are we
city
gonna?
is a suggestion, not a rule.
What are we gonna steal? All their rock?
I mean,
Between
Well, I mean,
that and all of the Elven Imperial ships flying through space above them, it seems like they don't really have any sort of concern about being raided by bandits or anything.
hey, Moon.
Enter through a couple of token doors, and you hear an odd musical instrument playing.
Ooh, I want to see what it is.
Is this guy just? Does he just have like a
Providing some
magnet?
background
And does he just have a magnet? He's like waving his hands in front of it.
No, it's this large standing box with a bunch of white and black buttons.
Oh my god.
Oh my god!
We've never seen a piano before. Holy shit! We don't know what a piano is. This is great.
No, you wouldn't.
Can't believe we don't have pianos. What the fuck?
They are a relatively new invention.
Yeah.
Like, the closest thing you would have in the medieval era would be a hurdy-gurdy.
Oh, nobody wants that.
Is it bad? I don't even know what that is.
It's terrible, is what it is.
Right.
Well, it's an instrument that you play by winding a crank and then pressing buttons on the side of the instrument.
Yikes.
Okay, well, I want one, so. I mean, it's obviously a completely inconvenient thing. Who would want a musical instrument that you can't carry around with you, so you can fight with it? But still, it looks nice.
Okay, but what if you wore the belt, the swole belt?
No,
And just
I
carried it
have
around
the
on your
swole
back.
belt. This is my gimmick now. Again.
In any
Are you
event,
gonna form the band?
just by looking around the tavern, you see that the clientele is predominantly, but not entirely, elven. You also see a few more unique clientele among the elves. There appear to be some that you would guess are from Mynth, like yourself. Half-orcs, goblinkin, along with what appear to be those hippo people that you saw back on the surface. But they seem to have very fine uniforms instead of the more like the tabards that you saw back on the surface.
Huh.
The
Look.
bartender spies your group coming in and just sort of shouts out, "Take any table you want. Order at the bar. Don't have any servers."
Also, look, Lily's just happy to see goblins in space.
Understandable. Green
Yeah.
Ash is actually shocked to see half-orcs in space.
hmm Well, there's pretty much just one group of orcs and goblinkin on around one table, and they are keeping to themselves by the looks of it.
We found the Edgelord party.
No, we found the don't want to deal with elves party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know
Okay.
what? Same.
Yeah, I can sympathize with that. In any case, given what that guy said, one of us will have to go up to do the order. I don't even know what they would have out here.
Yeah, what did they have here? Aside from ale.
I mean, basically the same thing they have in a regular tavern, just put moon in front of it.
Yeah. And then you charge like 3 gold extra because of the moon in front of it.
Well, in this case, it's because it's all imported. But actually, the drink of choice, you soon find out, is elven wine.
Okay. Blake is into this.
Oh yeah, everybody's racist against elves until you drink elven wine.
No, Lake is just a wine hound.
Noted
And-
Wino Lake.
As you're waiting for your drinks to be poured and then watered in the proper elven fashion,
And I'll just take the water, really.
Same,
Are you gonna
actually.
just water down the water? Sure, why not?
oh, they do
Yeah,
also
exactly.
They do also have a little variety here. I mean, the biggest barrels are full of elven wine, also ale and some stuff that pours out clear, has a strong smell, and that the bartender assures you will knock you flat on your ass.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's gonna be
Lily-
a pass.
Well, Lily normally tries to avoid drinking on the job. This is new and exciting. Let's do this.
Yeah, look, this is for work. You can expense it. I mean, to yourself, but still. I mean, for tax purposes, there you go.
Yeah.
Good tax write-off.
Exactly.
You guys better be paying taxes.
Not
Yes.
to you. Not to you.
I thought the taxes just came out of my pay, so.
I 100% pay my taxes.
I don't live in Vienna, so I don't care.
Same.
I mean, you get paid in Vienna.
Yeah, but I don't live there, so I don't pay taxes there. That's not how that works. It's fine.
Vienna operates on the bullshit American system of taxation.
I do love having to pay taxes overseas unless I relinquish my fucking citizenship.
All right. Well, you get when you ask for the hard stuff, the bartender takes out this tiny little wooden cup that you, at first glance, you think that's just like an insult because of your size, but then he just assures you, no, this is the only way to drink it. This is all you need.
Just Lily looks at him incredulously, and then looks at the glass, and looks at him, and then looks back, and just pounds it back.
It tastes like fire,
Yeah, that's what I expected.
with aftertones of evergreen.
Mmm. Delicious.
I don't know. I don't drink, so I don't know what drink you're describing.
Gin.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I want to try it too.
I think it's fine with their fucking hoity-toity elf wine.
Same experience.
Grenache sticks to water.
Mhm. But as you're enjoying your drinks and experimenting with new opportunities, you do notice that just in the background chatter, the names Solara and Solarian race seem to be coming up a lot. It wasn't just the talk of the ship you visited, but it seems to also be the talk of the town.
Hmm. All right. Is there anything to indicate who a good person to speak to about it would be?
Roll perception, just to see who's talking about it the most and the loudest.
Okay.
This does rely on hearing, right?
Yeah.
Rolling in general is just a thing I'm extremely good at now.
Good thing I rolled this advantage, although, yeah, Lake's still one out there.
To be fair, I have double advantage, or I have double proficiency perception.
What the hell? Everyone else is rolling. Watch me second it now. Yep, there you go.
Concentrating on that water.
I think I'm more distracted by the half-orcs.
Moonwater's pretty strong, you know.
Not half orcs, actually. Full orcs.
Oh. That makes it even more confusing.
And double orcs.
Look, sometimes you just get launched into space. It's fine.
Yeah, but launched into space and landing here? Especially orcs?
Sometimes you get launched at the moon. It's fine.
No,
You've been launched to the moon
very
before?
smartly dressed.
Sometimes you get launched to the moon while dressed to the nines. It happens.
These orcs are for Mynth. I mean, we already know there are elves out here. There's no reason not to think that there would be orcs out here, too.
I mean, given Grenache has had close encounters with orcs, given his life.
I mean, I would think so.
Yeah,
First
he
encounter of his life was
he kind of
close
struggled to believe
encounter with an
orcs can live out here.
Lived inside one for 9 months.
Anyway.
Okay, that's too far.
But
Too
not
far?
wrong.
It's literally true.
It might be true, but you don't have to say it like that. Jeez.
You're the one making it weird. It's fine.
Yeah, you really are the only one making it weird.
I'm not the one talking about a dead mother.
In any event, there is one table that appears to be elves, or at least mostly elves, where
Gross.
one person, it seems to be regaling the others, and the Solaran race is coming up quite a bit in that conversation. Very animated as well.
Well,
What do we hear?
Well, the speaker seems to be in the middle of something, and so it's not anything you really have context on.
Oh, okay.
fair.
But you could interrupt them and ask them to start from the beginning.
That seems rude.
I don't want to talk to an elf.
They could go up and ask. So, like, I couldn't help but overhear. You're talking about the race.
Aye, the race. And me, the only bookie in town who's got good odds. You'll see. The new race being all unexpected. The usual gallery of rogues, so to speak, that normally comes around these parts when it's time for a race. Most of them are out of town, so to speak. But me, I'm here. I've got the numbers on the few contestants who have managed to show up in time. And you ask me the best number, you ask me who's got the best odds of success, and I'll get you, and I can tell you straight away.
Yeah, who's got the best odds of success?
Oh, well, out of the racers who are currently present, the IEN, well, they've got the best odds, seeing as they're the biggest faction that's got someone ready to go. This being seeing as this whole sphere is at least nominally part of the Imperial Elven Navy's territory. Now, the Scroll, they're just straight out. They don't come here except for the race, and seeing as the next scheduled race is 6 years off, well, all we've got are those unhappy folk there in the corner of the tavern.
Why is the race 6 years off anyway?
Well, normally the race is supposed to happen every 10 years. Well, the last one happened 4 years ago. This new race, well, nobody saw it coming. Except, of course, Lady Solara, who's the one who made the decision.
Yeah, I think she did it as a joke, just to fuck with you.
Well, it's hard to say. Someone like that. I don't know, I don't really care. I don't go around racing in a ship, crossing the entire sphere, just to ask a silly question. All I do is sit here and run the numbers. Now, if I were to say that there was a second contender, it would definitely have to be Drokas. Or Drakus. That's that undead fella who just happened to be in town when the announcement came.
So he's just...
When you say in town, do you mean this town?
Aye, he's buggered off by now already, of course.
Okay.
So he's a racer just by proximity, is what you're saying.
Well, he's one of them undead wizard folk.
Oh, he's
Oh.
a lich.
Yeah.
Aye, lich. And soon as he heard the announcement, off he went. Presumably to head straight for where the race begins, just outside orbit.
I already know his question. It's how does he not suck? Liches
Sorry,
are the worst.
did he say the race begins? Where does he say it begins?
In orbit.
Yeah,
Of this moon?
right, just outside orbit of Mynth. And
Oh.
this is the main planet of the system.
Damn right it is.
The Wait, when he says the system, what does that mean?
The crystal sphere, all the planets. There's usually one planet that's got more people, more races, more life than all the others combined. That just happens to be Mynth over there.
Wait,
It's
but
a lovely place.
most people in Mynth, but hold on, wait. So Mynth is the largest and it's the most populous planet, but it's the all space is dominated by people not from it. That's interesting.
I mean,
That's completely believable. Just look
I
at
mean, it's
reality.
believable. It's just it. I was surprised. I was assuming Mynth was kind of like tucked away, like some kind of backwater.
I think the point
Well,
is
in the grand
that it
scheme of
is.
things, in terms of all the different crystal spheres, Mynth is a bit of a backwater.
Wait. Okay. Maybe I don't understand how crystal spheres work. Is the Elven Imperial Navy, is that just in this crystal sphere, or is it
Oh, it's
across a bunch of
across
crystal
the-
spheres?
It's across the entire Phlogiston. They got,
What's a phlogiston?
what's in between the crystal spheres.
Oh God.
That's a fancy way of saying nothing.
Oh, but it's not nothing. It's the Phlogiston.
I
All
hate
right.
that
So
word.
Solara, she lives in this crystal sphere. The race is just in this crystal sphere.
Aye, that is just here.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
All right.
But in terms of all the known space, well, this place is a bit quieter than most.
Right. Well, I mean, we don't really have much space travel on Mynth, so I suppose it would be.
Aye. But as far as this crystal sphere goes, Mynth is the biggest and it has the most variety of intelligent races. So that's why this crystal sphere is called Mynth space.
All right.
Y'all are
That's-
really creative.
It's good to know that out of all the inhabited planets in the sphere, we are the least awful.
No one said that.
We're just the most populous. There's a difference.
Yeah. Like, hold on.
Yeah, this is true. Okar is the biggest city on our continent, and it does kind of suck.
All right. So,
I'm getting the feeling that this is your first trip.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Correct.
You figured it out. You cracked the code.
got it in one.
Well, would it happen to be that you're interested in running in the race yourselves?
Yes.
Yeah,
You would all.
Why not?
I could always use another dark horse on the chart.
What kind of odds would you give us?
You don't want to hear that.
You wouldn't want to hear him.
Well, do you have rules against betting on oneself?
Nay, I'll gladly accept your money.
It's true. It is your money to lose.
All right, so tell me the odds.
yeah.
Confident. Yeah, you're wealth of magic items, if I don't miss my guess. You seem to have seen your share of battles. So I'll be generous and give you 20 to 1.
All right. Well,
Platinum do I
I
have?
might just take that. But
Yeah.
you say seen our share of battles. What exactly does this race entail? Because it sounds like it might be more than just flying a ship.
Well, if all you're doing is flying a ship, you're likely never to win. The rules of the race are quite simple. The organizers of the race have created a set of magic flags. There's one flag for each major orbit of the system. The goal of the race is to get one of these flags from each orbit and then present them all to the organizers. Now, how you go about getting those flags, that'd be up to you.
Wait, that sounds like it would be extremely easy to cheat.
It's not cheating if there's no rules against it.
So are you allowed to use more than one ship?
Nay. Well,
Okay.
I should say, you're only allowed to enter one ship per faction, and you need to bring that ship along with the flags to the organizers for them to accept your win.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happens to all the other ships you happen to have on your side, well, that'd be up to you.
I've already thought of a lot of ways you could cheat this.
Yeah. But
Starting
again,
with...
it's not cheating if it's not against the rules.
Alright, well, damn, too bad we didn't bring our other ship. I mean, too bad it was difficult to bring our other ship for reasons. Because I'd say, go send that out to the furthest point where there's a flag and just work your way in. Meet up in the middle and go back or whatever.
Aye, that's a strategy. I've seen it happen before. Of course, some of the other races, the Nyogi in particular, tend to wait for the other competitors to find flags and then take them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking myself.
Yeah, I figured.
Nah, lucky for you, the Nyogi also happen to not have anybody in the sphere at the moment, so they're not running either. So far as I'm aware, there are only the two I've mentioned, and then two more. One of them is called the Purple Riser. It's a old pirate ship. Happened to be in Mynth space at the time. And then there's the Gallant Gladiators. Well, those are an interesting mix, almost as interesting as you, I'd say.
No one's as interesting as me.
I disagree, but okay.
Wholeheartedly disagree.
Well, Scuttlebutt says that even though they're entering a dragonfly, what they really got is a stolen elven armada.
Oh, hey!
Oh no! Oh god!
Yes!
It's
the other group! It's the other group! I go, Blake goes, wait. Hold on.
One straight here.
We need to kick some asses. There's gonna be an ass. There will be a fucking reckoning.
Can't believe they're entering with the ship they stole from me.
A ship we lent to them.
Mine.
It's not yours, but okay.
I won it by right of conquest.
No,
That's
you don't
not
own
how
shit.
it works.
Should be.
It's not
But it
yours
isn't.
either.
I'm not saying it's mine. I'm saying it's not. But what I am arguing is that it's not Aurelia's.
You did part on good terms.
Yeah, we did put on good terms.
Yeah, but there's a secret part of Aurelia that really thinks that she should have the ship.
And there's a not so secret part of Lake that says no.
Anyway. Alright, well, whatever. They're kind of idiots, so...
We'll
we
just
can
kick their
probably beat
asses.
them. I mean, I'd rather not attack them.
It's because you're weak.
Well, okay. That's...
I mean, we could just try and convince them to work with us.
Yeah, very possibly.
Well, if I could...
Or, wait, I've got a better idea. Convince them to throw the race for money.
If I could give you one recommendation, You should hire someone out here who can help guide you through the sphere. Seeing as this is your first time and all.
A navigator
that's a fair
would be
point.
good.
Do you have any recommendations?
Oh, I happen to know about a few interesting characters. Just happen to be in town and haven't signed on with any of the other races yet.
I'm listening.
Go on.
Well,
How much do you want us to pay for this information? Is the question.
I think he's offering it freely. Don't ask him that.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Kind of bookie offers shit freely.
I mean, the more competitors, the easier it is for him to make money.
Yeah.
the kind that wants to lean on the odds.
Ah, I see.
Also, yeah, he'll have inside information. Helps him make better odds.
Well, first person who comes to mind is Keelan McPherson. Keelan McPherson. She used to be a fine navigator for the Elven Imperial Navy, but she got droned out relatively recently. And you didn't hear it from me, but she's got her eyes on the dice. And, well, it may have kept her eyes away from the navigation charts a wee bit too often. But she knows this sphere better than most other folks who come around these parts. And from what I understand, she's rather desperate. Got some debts that need paying.
Oh yeah, what kind of money do they take up here?
Well, your gold's good here,
Nice.
wherever it comes from.
Convenient.
Just make sure you know what kind of currency you're paying with.
Is there a maximum that you can bet?
If you start throwing around thousands of gold pieces, I'm afraid that's a bit too high for my personal taste.
Ah, dang it. I was legitimately about to bet 500 platinum on ourselves. So, no, that won't fly with him.
Yeah, that's a bit much. I was thinking of betting a couple hundred gold or something just for fun.
Let's put it this way. I'm still not completely over the fact that I want to get a Robert 2. That would have been a great way to be able to afford a Robert 2, was to just bet 500 gold on ourselves and then spend the money.
I feel like we can't. If Bobbin is giving us the chance to bet on ourselves, it may be because there's not an absolute guarantee that we will win the race for story reasons or whatever.
Yeah, but also 500 platinum to me, it's like whatever. At this point.
That's fair, I suppose.
Also, you clearly haven't learned your lesson. It's to Kalon, specifically.
Yeah.
Bobbin giveth, Bobbin taketh away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this time it wouldn't be. But this time it wouldn't be like. No, actually, I did read the DM notes. So.
Yeah, you fucking did.
I didn't know there were these DM notes. I kind of want to go back and read through.
Bobbin has all of them. Well, not all of them. It's obviously not quite all of it's up yet, but Bobbin's been posting a bunch of episodes on his channel.
No, I know. I know that you were guys talking about before. I just said like until then I didn't know about the DM notes.
Yeah, neither did I.
So I've never looked at any of them, but
it's fun insight.
Yeah.
Insight into Bobbin's cruel mind.
Actually, surprisingly, not that cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
Although I did find out the real reason Bobbin made me play a druid for months.
Because you deserved it.
It's because I power gamed.
Oh
yeah. But you know what? Thank you, Bobbin. I appreciate it. I specifically appreciate it.
No, not forever. Anyway, that was just the first recommendation.
Yes, I'm eagerly anticipating the second one.
Now, second, there's this fella in town. Rather unique. You'll know him when you see him. Goes by Perry. Supposedly his name is impossible to say with a normal face such as ours.
Okay, wait, let me guess. Rock monster.
Eh? Do you happen to know what an elephant looks like?
Yes.
An elephant? Or an illithid?
Illithid.
Elephant.
Oh, elephant.
Oh, elephant.
Oh,
Shit.
elephant, okay.
No.
No.
Do we?
Have we ever seen an elephant?
I don't believe you had the opportunity.
No, I don't think we've
Okay.
ever seen an elephant.
We've never seen an elephant.
Well then, let's just say that he's got a mighty long nose. Drapes down past his breeches.
That sounds obscene. I want to
Yeah,
meet him.
Spooky.
On him it looks more suited than it would on you and me. In any event, he's one of those what you call Loxodon. And according to him, he's been traveling throughout the various spheres on a mission of anthropology. I'm not entirely sure what that means, so you'd best ask him. But he seems to be knowledgeable, not just of spheres in general, but of this one as well.
I rolled a 10. I don't know what anthropology is.
I would say that Aurelia does not have to roll and would know,
Okay, thank you.
having had a formal education.
What's that like? I went to school. The School of Hard Knocks.
You probably
I know
did
you-
get a basic primary education, but
Yes. Yes.
You know, Lily's fucking middle class.
not really.
No.
Recently, but formerly working class.
Sorry.
Anyhow, last person I'd recommend would be Rolosa. She's a human. Came up from Mynth, same as you. But she's been around for a wee bit longer. Been around to see more than a couple of the, or at least a couple of the races previously. And as she says, she's quite the fanatic about it.
She's a fanatic, then she probably knows
She's
a
actually
lot.
she's actually been asking around to see if she could actually join one of the ships going on the big race.
I mean, Mynth solidarity.
Yeah, and also
Do you
like
know where Minsu's from?
Nay, she's
Fair
got the sort of squinty eyes.
Oh, okay.
That's racist. But I can guess where she's from now.
There's no good way to describe that particular feature.
Yeah, there are better ways.
For a bookie.
Fair enough.
An elven bookie.
All right. I mean, we just talked to all of them. I will say there is one thing that we've kind of just been charging ahead with the whole participating in the race, which I think is a good idea and everything. That said, we haven't really talked about like how we would turn that into getting the information
we
we
can ask her
need.
literally anything.
Yes, I know, but we would need to make sure we ask a question with an answer that would be good enough, which is not necessarily an easy task.
What
I mean,
piece
also
of
in
trivia
theory,
would
we could
Demogorgon
maybe.
find interesting?
Well, that would
Oh,
only
okay.
that would be like asking what is the answer to life, universe, and everything,
Mhm.
and then realizing that you also have to ask what the question is.
Yeah. Also, I'm not clear on whether her enlightenment, like, literally means she's omniscient or not. Because, I mean, if she could answer literally any question, we could just ask her how to get to the bottom of the abyss. But, I mean, she might tell us to...
You could.
Go find Temnic Gorgon.
I'm worried about what her answer would be. Yeah, I'm worried. I mean, on the other hand, that is arguably like a kind of...
Okay. Other question. Do we each individually get a question, or is it a question asked as a group?
I believe it's just one.
Well, that one I can answer. It's one question every 10 years.
Okay, it's just a single question. All right.
Except for this time, for some reason that nobody knows.
Because it's funny.
I have a theory, but I'm not going to say it.
I mean, the theory could be that she's so omniscient that she knows that she needs to let us ask a question to save the world or whatever. But,
yeah, that was it.
Yep.
But then that would raise further questions like, why do we need to participate in the race? Why can't we just go find her and ask?
Because it wouldn't be fair. It sets a bad precedent.
Yeah, it sets a bad example. Because if she just lets one person ask any question they want whenever they want, that means that anybody can do it, and then you just have an entire line of people asking you questions all day.
I guess. Are you allowed to ask her more than one question, but she's just not obliged to answer? Like, I'm just, like, I don't know. I'd be worried that we go in there and then...
I haven't spoken with the lady myself.
Fair
Honestly,
enough.
I have no idea what she even looks like. Or where she spends her time. Only the race organizers know, and that's because of her request.
Maybe she's a space whale.
For all I know, she could be. But the point is, she only wants to answer one unrestricted question every 10 years.
Fair
Aside from now, of course.
Mm-hmm. All right, well...
Right.
Does this guy have specifics on how we can find these three people he's recommended to us?
Well, he knows enough about the people in town to tell you where each of them is staying.
All right, that's good enough, probably.
All right, so...
And the bartender can give you more specific directions to each of the inns or hostels.
All right.
But, important question. Like, legitimately, mechanically, how much is the maximum that you, Bobbin, are allowing us to bet on ourselves?
I would say he'll accept a bet of up to 500 gold pieces, all told.
Okay.
Between the four of you.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I'm in for a share of whoever wants to make the bet.
I'll chip in.
I'll throw in 125.
Does Drew Nash want to?
Yeah, you can all have fun with that.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I will say that also by betting on yourselves, you are dropping the odds in your favor.
yeah, that understandable, but I mean, we can't profit off of the odds being good if we don't bet on ourselves. So
I'll drop 250 because between the other two, that's only 120.
Well, no, I mean, I think if we're gonna bet, we'll all contribute an equal share. And
yeah, I said 125 because I thought Grenache was taking part.
yeah. So I mean, 500 doesn't evenly divide, but whatever. We can just say as a group, and it's I mean, if you want
each, I think that would just be simplest.
Yeah.
Just to make a note that you each are betting 150 on yourselves.
Okay.
Silky can bet the last 50.
Sure, she
I
can.
feel like that's cheating.
Well, it's not like they're going into a combined assets situation.
True.
She's going to have her own bank account, you know.
That's fine.
She's gonna be her own head of state.
Got a plan for this sort of thing.
I don't think Silky is in line to be head of state of whatever
no.
the Yuan Ti state is called.
She doesn't even qualify. She's got too much human blood in her.
Damn, fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah, it kind of is.
That's fine though. All right, so bet of 150 is made.
Yep.
All right, so between Keelan, Perry, and Ralosa, who do you want to speak with first?
I want to go talk to Perry because Lake wants to know what the fucking elephant.
I kind of want to speak to the last one because she's like a big race fan, so she might also have other relevant details for us.
A big race fan, but also Mynth solidarity. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to make a decision immediately, so...
I mean,
we can talk to all of them. Yeah, it's fine.
we can talk to all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ralosa first?
Sure.
I mean, unless we happen to see Elephant Boy on the way, because I'm sure he'd stand out.
No, he's not really one to be wandering outside.
Too many stairs.
No, it's just not much to see around here.
Sorry, it took my brain a second to process that because I thought you meant like stairs as in what you walk up.
Well, I mean, look, elephants do like fucking die if they drop a foot, so.
He just ragdolls every time he hits a step wrong. That's the worst.
Alright, so, Ralosa is, by all appearances, a human of North Calagian stock. And when you see her, she is in the common room of the inn, chatting rather insistently with an elf who appears to have regretted sitting down in this particular chair.
Oh no, she's one of those NASCAR fans. Oh shit! I swear, it's not only taking a left turn. There's lots of fucking nuances to the racing.
It's deeply complicated in ways you.
I mean, in this case, there is a lot of nuance. I think.
Yes,
so, you know,
yes,
fair play.
but
There's
also,
a lot of murder.
But also, like, she puts way too much into it, like a NASCAR fan would put into
Look,
NASCAR.
I mean, I've literally never met a NASCAR fan.
Yeah, but this is less NASCAR and more wacky races.
Yeah.
This is why Redline is such a good movie.
Oh, this is like wacky races. Shit. I wonder if there's a Muttley.
It's the Lich's familiar.
That would be great. Oh my god. All right. Yeah, let's insert ourselves in that conversation.
Look, I watched Redline very recently, again, for like the millionth time. I'm all about the wacky races.
I mean, if she's the kind of person I think she is, she won't really be bothered by us dropping in on her conversation. So
no, we'll only make it worse for ourselves.
Yeah, and as she's describing sort of this play-by-play moment in which the Neogi battle spider was torn apart limb by limb, by an accidental collision with a dreadnought. She pauses to take a breath
Oh, Jesus.
and just happens to look over and sees that she's got more company now and says, "Oh, hi there!
Hey,
How are you? Let me guess. Mynthians?"
mm-hmm.
Correct.
What gave it away?
The fact that all of you still are looking around at all of this wonderful surroundings, and just the fact that there is a town on the moon. I mean,
And it's a shithole.
It's kind of wacky, yeah.
It's
well,
fine. It seems
it grows
nice.
on you. And it's a nice place to stay for a while at least. I mean, I wouldn't want to live here. I mean, I don't really have a job in the industry they've got here. And, but, you know, if you're looking for a place to find a ship and explore the rest of Mynth space, then this is the place to go. And you meet such wonderful people here, like this elf I was just... Wait, where did he go?
I saw that
Bathroom,
coming.
I think.
I saw that coming, and I still laughed.
What to go powder?
So, tell us, how'd you get from wherever you're from in North Kalagia, I assume, to here?
Oh, well, I was one point in the Empire of Gold. Have you been there?
Yeah,
Yeah, you could say we've been there.
yeah. We were there
Well,
for a
it's
little while.
We enacted societal reform.
Well,
Well, I
more
hope...
nudged
honestly, I hope that's true. They could use some updating. I mean, the Gold Dragons, they've got the best of intentions, but they're so old-fashioned sometimes, you know?
They're a bunch of weirdos. Why would you pose as a bird?
Yeah, I told them to dump the whole eunuch thing. I'm not 100% sure if they listened or not.
Well, here's hoping they did. Anyway, so I was there, and then I was, captured by elves, and then there was a mutiny, and then the elven ship went out into space where there's not supposed to be slaves, and so, well, one thing led to another, and here I am today. I mean, that's all ancient history at this point.
Mm.
Hey, did you know that part of North Kalagia got its land, like the land just reappeared?
You know, I had heard about that. There is some traffic between North Kalagia and space. It's not as robust as it is with the elves, unfortunately. I wish they would get more into that, but there's a limit on how many Spelljammer vessels are sold in this area. I mean, the Mercane just have that darn monopoly on the damn things, but...
I know, right?
I would...
says as if they understand anything.
I mean, it's not like the Empire, it doesn't have enough money to buy more. It's just a matter of getting access to them, and of course getting people. Well, and of course, also getting the attention. Get the intentions of the Empire are also important. I mean, for a while, I mean the Gold Dragons. I mean, among the other things that I have objections to with them is just that they tend to be very inward looking, They tend to be concentrated on the Empire, on the continent, and they don't really look beyond it as
Yeah,
much
they took
as
the
they
inward
could.
perfection, Civic.
Exactly. But if beyond it, they jammers than they have, and they could go into space, they could see all sorts of amazing things that I've seen while I've been out here.
Yeah, but dragons tend to get really stuck in their ways. It's actually kind of a problem.
Yeah.
I'd blame it on the age, but I've seen other people who are just as old who actually move on with their lives, do different things during different phases of their existence. I mean, especially since being out here, and a lot of the elves are old-fashioned too. Don't tell them I told you that, but not all of the elves think in terms of decades. Some of them actually try and do things year by year, the way that humans do.
I don't understand anything other than living in the moment.
I mean, obviously.
Well, I think you might be better off for it.
I'm also relatively short-lived, and I try not to think too much about that.
Oh, there's lots of magic that can fix that. Don't worry.
Yeah, I refuse to die.
So you were talking about the race before earlier,
Yes,
weren't you? We've just been hearing about that.
Yes, and it's amazing. I've heard about Lady Solara and that she wants a new question to be asked outside of the once every decade. Between you and me, I think there's something special going on about this race. I think there has to be a reason that she's going off her pattern like this.
Sure she isn't just fucking with people?
You keep saying that, but I really don't think... I don't really think you understand what enlightenment is.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't say it's impossible. She might just be switching from a once every decade to a once every 4 years. Just didn't tell anyone that this is going to be a continual pattern or anything like that. It can be hard to understand someone who is apparently that so far advanced beyond everyone else.
Aurelia, don't you dare say a damn thing.
I mean, I don't need to say anything. You're already thinking it.
I can sense some sort of history here. Anyway, so do you want to hear about all of the past races? Because it's quite exciting, actually. Everything that's happened, all of the betrayals, all of the last-minute victories.
Yes.
Sure, why not?
All right, well...
Give us an idea of how it works.
Start with all of the ways that people have won.
Well, just to save some time...
yeah, I wasn't expecting you to do it in character.
Yeah.
But Aurelia does have essentially infinite patience for conversation.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, so the tactics of each faction tend to vary depending on who they are and how much backup they've brought for that particular race. Like the Elven Imperial Fleet always, the Elven Imperial Navy always has just sort of a leg up on the other competitors, but the thing is that Solara never answers a question from the same faction twice in a row. Just to keep things from being completely dominated by one faction.
I thought they were also banned for a
4 years
century.
ago.
Oh yes, that was also a thing that happened in the past. That about 1,000 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
She was effectively kidnapped by the Imperial Elven Navy, but probably because of her enlightenment, she was able to get out of being kidnapped despite the several layers of protections placed around her. And basically as punishment for trying that, she refused to answer an Imperial Elven Navy's question for the next 100 years.
Okay, I thought
And
that was
she
still
always-
going on for whatever reason.
Not at this point, no. And she always seems to know who sent the person asking the question. So they have tried to fool her in the past by sending like a reformed orc working with the elves to ask a question. But if the elves won last year, she would just shoo him off and wait for the next person to come up and ask her a question.
Huh. Can't believe they're Calvinist orcs. So who won 4 years ago?
It was a independent group, not one of the main factions.
And they're not racing again, I assume.
They're not in the system at the moment, and there would be no point in them racing right now. And even
well, I guess I don't know if people ever like race just for the fun of it, even if they can't ask the question.
What if they race just to keep other people from asking the question?
Well, you say that, and the elves don't always enter the race, but they do often interfere with it.
Of course. Fucking elves.
Fucking.
Fair enough. All right. Huh. So, all right. That's good to know.
And the idea is that the race organizers have created magical flags that cannot be duplicated and cannot be forged. And they teleport one to a unknown location in each major orbit of the crystal sphere. And I specify that because they're not always on the main planet in that orbit. And there isn't always a planet in that orbit in the first place.
Okay.
And it is up to the racers and whoever they convince to help to locate the flags, to retrieve them, and to avoid other racers who want to take them for themselves and save themselves some of the worry.
Fair.
But at the same time, space is kind of vast, so it's also hard to locate ships that don't want to be found.
So, is there a limited supply of each flag?
There is one flag for each contestant.
Okay, and I assume...
So theoretically, each one could potentially find an independent flag.
Right. Is there a way to stop people from taking more than one of the same flag to deny it to others?
The flags are not all located in the same spots.
Right. Okay. That's what I figured. But,
they would have to hunt down multiple flags.
Right, which wouldn't be worth it.
That would sacrifice a lot of time.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Now, the one upside is that the enchantments on the flags also make it easy to divine them, to use divination magic on them.
Okay.
Of all varieties, including ones that normally only work on creatures.
The fucking one time we need Lorem.
Yeah.
You got...
I do have
got
scrying.
scrying,
I do have scrying.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I was making a joke.
I mean, Lorem would be good for it, but...
Yeah.
Jokes are supposed to be funny, Kalon.
All right. I guess we don't necessarily want to invite her to come along right now, but... Well, actually, I'll just ask
She's
her,
a good
sort of
font
like...
of information.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no reason, in theory, that we wouldn't be able to take all three of these people, right?
Yeah, there's
we have
nothing
room.
stopping you.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, in that case, I'm going to ask her. So, I don't suppose you've participated in the race then?
Sadly, I've never been able to join one of the ships that's part of the race.
Fair. Well,
although I've always wanted to try it.
We're planning on entering. And, you know, we do have room on the ship, and you do seem to know a lot about the race and the tactics people use and everything.
Yeah.
I do.
Also, Mynth Pride.
If you'd like to come along, with the caveat that we'll be determining the question, but if you just want to come along for the experience.
Yes, I have no interest in deciding what the question is. I just want to see what it's like. I've seen it from the outside. I've talked with all sorts of participants, both successful and failed, and it's so interesting. I just like to be like in the trenches, as they say.
All right. Now, do you, other than your expertise on the race, do you have any particular skills, like magic or anything like that?
Well, I have been around the sphere a few times. I'm familiar with all of the other planets around here. Like I said, I tend to travel quite a bit, and while I happen to be here right now, I'm often in the far distant corners of the sphere. I've even traveled beyond the sphere a few times. I mean, well, honestly, this sphere is pretty much as I need, but it is great to see all the different varieties of planets and systems and gas giants and stars. And did you know that there are different crystal spheres? The stars are different.
Huh.
The nature of stars are different in different spheres. Like in this one sphere, the stars that you see in the sky above you are actually little portals to the plane of radiance. Light is just pouring out from dimensional holes in the interior side of the crystal sphere. And
Terrifying.
Yes, I think somebody should fix that.
They are apparently stable. It's you don't want to go in one, certainly, but aside from that, then there's another place where it's just giant glowing crystal rocks just studding the inside of the spheres. It's amazing to see.
And then there's another one where they are just holes that the gods left as they were leaving the plane of existence.
Fuck off, Todd Howard.
No, that's something that's way too cool for Todd Howard to have come up with.
Okay, so first off, in that setting, the gods are the planets, and the sun is actually a hole that magic seeps in through, and it's the source of all magic. And the moon is the god that was cleaved in two and had his heart poured out and thrown to the
stars are
planet.
all like portals to the fucking whatever different planes or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm convinced that the planet in Elder Scrolls is a moon, because the large stellar bodies are just way too huge.
Because they are the. I wasn't joking with anything I said.
Yeah, I know you weren't.
Yeah, they are the bodies of the gods. That's why. And once again, the two moons are the body of Lorcan that was cloven in two.
And like the thing
his
is,
heart torn out and thrown to the
I really
planet,
regret
the source
saying
of all
anything.
life.
the thing is, Elder
I have
Scrolls
done
lore.
some dumb fucking lore deep dives, and it's a problem.
Well, the Elder Scrolls lore is so cool, and then you play the games, and it's like, oh.
Some of the Elder Scrolls lore is deeply, deeply inconsistent.
It is.
The sermons of Vivek are a fucking experience because a man
sometimes
wrote them
you open
high.
a book in fucking Skyrim and it's like this like really weird esoteric shit, and it's like, wow, this is cool. Someone like wrote this and put this in a game, and then you like actually play the rest of the game and you're like, wow, this game was written by a 5-year-old.
It doesn't help that the dude who's the source of a lot of the weird shit, Kirkbride, stopped after Morrowind.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, she was going on about the nature of different crystal spheres.
All right, you're
tired. Just like that?
Yeah. You know a lot.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if you're expecting to get paid. I guess we can give you food and stuff.
Pay you an exposure.
Well, a payment would be nice.
All right. I'll pay her something reasonable, but probably not a lot. Because she clearly wants to do this.
Yeah, just take advantage of her enthusiasm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Is she doing anything else?
Take advantage of her enthusiasm and her boredom.
Yeah, look, it's fine.
Yeah, and you can just pay this with
state money,
state funds.
Yeah, I'm assuming I can expense it.
So we don't have to go over the details. And
It's real weird explaining this one.
So I went to the moon.
And we met a NASCAR fan.
I assume that whoever Aurelia's accountant is like very used to this by now.
Moon, whatever. How much do I owe you?
See. Yeah, I was gonna say, this is why Silky wants her own bank account.
I mean, look, Silky wants her own bank account because she is a strong, independent woman, alright?
Who doesn't want to deal with your strange financial decisions.
She's totally okay with my strange financial decisions, right, honey?
Because she's not the one paying them.
No comment.
Whatever. Well, let's not forget who pays all of you.
Yeah,
Anyway.
as I said, strange financial decisions.
Yeah, alright, you got me there. Well, let's find the elephant man.
Yeah. Alright. So, Elephant Man is,
I know he's not a monster, but he's not a human being either, so... Or, no, not an animal, that's the quote. God damn it. He is sort of an animal. Is he an animal? I don't really know.
he is a human being, and he's dying.
I mean, he's not a human being. He's
Loxodon.
a loxodon.
Well,
Keep
yeah,
up, Altman. Come on.
you brought up the quote. I wanted to get it right.
Fair enough.
So, the Loxodon is, you find him in his room, and knock politely at the door. He says, "Come in." And you see him sitting at the table, writing with his prehensile nose.
If for some reason 3 tiny little men are rubbing, blind men are rubbing all over him, trying to describe what the elephant is.
All right. Well, I think it's time for me to address the elephant in the room. So I tell him who I am.
I hate you.
Someone had to.
Another 7 sessions of elephant puns. Joy.
Yeah, Bella's gonna introduce herself, and
yeah, I don't have to describe a Loxodon to the players, but your characters are seeing a very unique individual with a giant flappy
Yo, how's that
ears,
tube work?
a
does
massive-
he have a warhammer?
Not that you can see among his personal effects.
How's that tube work?
But he is also finely dressed in what appears to be expensive tailored clothing, although not any sort of military bent like you saw on the orcs and goblin folk back in the bar. And
Sorry.
And as you enter the door, he puts down the pen with his nose, closes the book he had in his hands, and stands up to greet you.
Greetings. I am Aurelia de Zafarani de Viana, Prince of Viana. It's a place on Mynth, if you're not aware.
Yo, how'd that tube work?
Tube?
The tube.
Please don't be rude.
Yeah.
Oh, are you referring to this? His nose rises up and waves at you.
Yeah, it's real cool.
Well, it works quite simply. I want it to do something, and then it goes and does it.
Yeah, Lily, asking him how his nose works is like asking you how your hands work.
How do you know it's a nose?
Well, I breathe through it like this.
Please never do that again.
And the air comes out right at Lily,
You deserve that.
along with a couple of flecks of snow.
You super deserve that.
He doesn't say anything, she just stares at him.
But I assume that you haven't come here just to ask how a Loxodon's nose works. So what brings you to my fine little home away from home?
So I'm just trying to remember. We were told about him that he's an anthropologist.
Yes.
And that were we told any more details about his interest in the race and stuff exactly?
Well, you were told that he was mostly interested in the planets of this system. Mm-hmm. And as such, he wouldn't necessarily know about the race, but he would be a good navigator because of that.
Right. All right. Kind of wonder if it's going to be like kind of overkill to have 3 people who all have like navigation related skills.
Well, no, one of them isn't navigation related. One of them is like legit like racers and like the rules of the race knowledge.
She also knows about the planets, though.
But she also knows about the planets, and then this guy knows about the planets, and then the navigator is also a professional navigator, obviously. But I sort of wonder if they would have exactly the same skills. Like this guy, because if we're gonna have to actually explore the planets to some extent to find the flags, then maybe he would be better at that. But then the Elven Imperial Navy lady would be better at like actually charting a course with the ship, kind of thing.
It's
I'm
like
just a little.
All 3 of them are like generally pretty good at everything, but it seems like each one of them has a specific area of interest that would actually help us out a lot.
Yeah.
I will say that you can take any one of these 3 people, any 2, or all 3. As long as you have at least one on your ship, you'll be able to run this race with some amount of alacrity.
I'm just trying to think if there's a downside to taking all 3, like that they might argue or something. But whatever.
Probably, but we won't
also
know
I feel
that
like it's degrees of usefulness.
Yeah, I'm sure there's diminishing returns for each additional person.
And some of them may have more problems than the solutions they offer.
Like the one who's a gambling addict? That's fine. Well, okay. I'll just say outright, that we heard that you were an anthropologist and you have knowledge of the planets in this system. Is that correct?
I suppose I do. I have been on a few surveys through the area, although I must admit I am most interested in the Loxodon population on Mynth itself. It's quite fascinating, in fact. A group of humanoid elephant people who are completely unrelated to the group of elephant people from which I come.
That is weird.
South Palachi, it's a pretty cool place.
Yes, it is. There are many races there that I have found echoes of throughout the known spheres. I refer to them as echo species. The elves themselves are an excellent example of this. Elves, apparently in unique circumstances, have arisen throughout the known spheres, independently of one another, and finding themselves with things in common, they have banded together in large numbers.
I mean, to be fair, they're all kind of just bad copies of Ladrin.
You say that, but not all of the elves have that history behind them. Some were created wholesale by gods who developed them within their own image.
Can't believe there's an elven collective consciousness.
But were those gods? They probably still stole it from the Ladrin.
The elves with their own morphogenetic field, what the fuck?
Well, honestly, that's the sort of thing that I'm researching now. And on the
Fair enough.
planet where my species originated, there were 3 intelligent races. The Loxodon, along with ogres and gnolls, which I believe have also arisen on Mynth. Although the gnolls and ogres on my planet just dedicated themselves to demon princes, and in so doing sold their souls but grew more intelligent, forcing my particular race off the planet and onto a neighbor.
Aw. Sorry to hear that.
So
Sounds rough, buddy.
it's less that our
Demon
gnomes are
princes.
uplifted, and more like our gnomes are from space.
Knowles.
Oh,
N-O-L-L.
Knowles. Okay.
Gnolls. Yep.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, I've met a Knoll once, and she was pretty cool.
I've never met a Knoll.
When I met, was pretty cool.
Well, you
Okay.
haven't met a Gnoll during the campaign, but you've probably had business contacts with them before.
True.
And they
Gnolls are
were,
good.
and they were probably pretty chill in your
No,
experience.
Gnolls are good people. They're good people. They're good people. Unlike elves.
That's
Yes.
true.
That's just the thing. Different circumstances, different
Outcomes.
different outlooks, and yet such similar shapes. It's quite the question.
Conversion evolution.
And of course,
Aurelia probably wouldn't know what that is. But,
Maybe
you
the
know.
Lord and Savior, Gary Gygax, was actually secretly just very lazy.
no, this was after Gygax
Yeah.
left the company.
Okay.
And actually, Tabaxi, Loxodon, and Gif are all from Spelljammer originally.
Huh.
Actually, that makes me curious. Are Loxodon from D&D before they were from Magic?
Yeah,
Interesting.
although they were just called the Luxo at that point. Didn't have the Dawn.
Interesting. Because I always associate it with Magic. I didn't realize that they weren't original to it. All right. Well, I think
So, might I ask, what interest you have in my studies? Are you engaged in a similar field?
not as such. Although, I mean, we have sort of gotten a fair bit of experience with it on Mynth, at least through our travels. Amateur experience, I should say. But
Well, still, I would be very interested to write down your accounts. Whatever
Sure.
you may have learned.
but the reason that we sought you out was because you were suggested to us as one person who might be of assistance in running the race, which I'm sure you've heard about.
Oh, yes. Hard to step out onto the street right now and not hear more words about it. But, I'm really not much of a racer, as you might imagine. Thump, thump. Giant chest.
Fair enough.
So, what use do you think I would be for you?
And you know the planets around here pretty well, right?
I suppose so. More the people who inhabit each of the planets, or moons, or other stellar bodies.
Well, it's possible that such knowledge might be of assistance in running the race. To be honest, we're quite new to all this. We both learned of and decided to run the race within the last 24 hours, so, you know.
God, less than that.
Well,
I was being generous. I wasn't sure how much time passed to get to the moon.
Well, I must admit, Not long, actually. I must
The past few
admit,
hours.
I'm not that familiar with the race myself. I have spent a few years here in this sphere, but it was after the last race took place.
Well, we do have a
Still-
race expert on contract already.
Still, from what I've heard, what I've picked up about the race, it sounds like it may involve running into the native life forms on the various planets and other assorted stellar bodies. And some of them are a bit more isolationist than others. And so, if they happen to find a flag and have the inkling of wanting to keep it, it may cause trouble for racers who want to take it from them. I've heard a few anecdotes, and as a matter of fact, I've written a few notes about them, about racers running into hostile natives.
All right. Well,
It often doesn't end well, mostly
Yeah,
for
shocking.
the natives.
I'm fucking
that's fair.
shocked.
Well, yeah. I suppose the question then is whether you have any interest in such an endeavor.
Well, as I said, I am not much of a racer, and I most likely wouldn't be much help in any sort of combat situation. But if you require someone able to speak the local languages, or able to find methods of communication when words are unknown, I can assist with that.
Yeah.
And I would have one caveat, if I may. If our team happens to be the ones who win, if you could ask the question of why so many races appear identical between the spheres, that would certainly be the one question I'd like to ask.
That is an interesting suggestion.
On the one hand, it would be a question used, but that would technically count as obscure, would it not?
I mean, that's the question. If that question, if we have reason to believe that would qualify as something that Demogorgon would be interested in,
Oh yeah, probably.
then
But of course, like you said as well, you could just ask the question about the Abyss directly. There's nothing stopping you from asking that.
yeah, that's true. It's just my hesitation is if we ask a question that's like about a fact or like that one, or like the one that Perry is suggesting, it's hard to get like any answer would be useful probably because it's just information that we would then trade. Whereas if we ask a question like how do we get to the bottom of the abyss, the answer to that, in theory, depending on how helpful Solara wants to be, could be something not that useful. Like, for example, trade Demogorgon some information, some obscure lore. Now, I know that you probably wouldn't like completely fuck us over like that, Bobbin, but in character, it.
Yeah, out of character, there's no way that, like, we as players know that you would give us a solution. In character, like, the very real possibility of us, like, freaking out about what's the best way to get to this bottom of the abyss? Ask Demogorgon. We knew that already. Oh God.
Yeah. So that's kind of the. Honestly, also asking a question like that would be cooler. So that said, I don't think we should agree to this outright right now. I think we should tell Perry. All right. Well, that is a rather significant request, but it's very possible that our needs would be satisfied by asking that question as well. So, if it's all right with you, I'd like to consider. We need some time to consider whether we can make such a promise.
All right. But, well, if you decide not to take me along, I would still be in your debt if you were to come to me afterwards and tell me of the various things you saw and people you encountered.
Of course.
I see no issue with that. We can spare some time for that.
All right. Let's talk to the final person, the elven gambler. Yeah. I really hope there's no twist where she's like has some gambling debts and so she's agreed to like deliberately fuck up the race for us or something. That would be a funny twist, though.
It might depend on how much you're going to offer her.
I mean, if we're spending state funds, the answer is yes.
Well, also depends on the incentive structure. If we offer her a big bonus if we win, that would probably help.
Yeah. In any event, you find her, but it takes some doing. She's not in the inn where you were told she was staying. She's not in the common room. And as a matter of fact, you don't quite find her until you go behind the inn. And you see a barrel and hear the rattling of dice.
Oh, too bad Torpo's away because he would be all about playing liar's dice with this.
Well, she's already in the middle of a bet. And at the moment, it sounds like she's doing fairly well.
All right. Well, let's watch, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh no.
It's Bob actually rolling for it.
Those sounds of good cheer turn into cries of agony as she rolls snake eyes and loses.
Rip. I've been playing Blood Bowl recently, so I know how she feels.
And as she hands over a couple of silver pieces, you hear her saying, "Listen, I'll be good for the rest. You understand that? You just need to give me a couple of days to get the rest together, and well, until then, what do you say about double or nothing?" And the other gamblers just sort of roll their eyes and walk away with what little they could get out of her. If you fellows are here for the next game, I'm afraid we're closed for the day. I seem to be all out of cash at the moment.
Well, that's quite all right, actually. We're here about something else.
Oh, well, tell them that in another couple of weeks, I should have just the amount of money they need.
No, it's not with whoever you think we're with.
you're a navigator, correct?
I can still navigate just as well as the best of them. Despite any rumors you may have heard to the contrary.
I would like to roll insight on that, because she just gave away something pretty big. So, give me a second.
I mean, sure, if we're rolling insight.
Yeah, talk of rumors, that's gonna be questionable.
Nash sees all.
Alright. Well, from what you can tell, she's certainly confident about her navigation skills. It's more about how reliable she is on the job that you have suspicions about, just from her bearing, the first things she thinks of when she meets new people.
Okay, I mean, that's not a huge issue, though, if she's confined to a ship, because we can keep her from gambling. Or at least keep her from gambling when she has other things to be doing.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know, she still might be too much of a liability.
Yeah, I'm honestly thinking that she might be not worth it.
Yeah, I don't trust her.
Do you have any interest in the Solaran race?
Why, it's quite the challenge of navigation and finding the fastest path between all the different planets as they move around the system.
And what do you think you'd charge for your services for the race?
Oh, well, you understand that I'm one of the best navigators out around. And
you're also quite desperate, as far as I can tell, for money, considering how you greeted us.
well, I'm not too desperate in general. I can always win the funds I need, assuming I get a little bit of capital to start off with. And so I certainly would not ask for too much.
Of course. All right. Well, again, I'm not going to ask you to haggle over it or whatever, but I'm just interested to know if she seems like she's asking for a reasonable amount.
Oh, with 22, she is definitely about to haggle. She's being cagey because she doesn't know what kind of price range you're going to ask, or you're capable of delivering.
Okay. What should I roll to haggle back?
I think that's persuasion.
Persuasion, all right. Well, I mean, I'm pretty good at persuasion, generally speaking. It's not the best roll, but still ends up pretty nice.
All right. Well, you find that she is actually rather experienced at haggling. It comes from all of the times that she has had to explain away why she's not able to get a debt, and yet why she's worth spending more money on.
Oh, I was just thinking, because I did end up deciding to take Lucky. Maybe this is a good time to use one of those.
Yeah.
Try that out. I'll try it just for fun.
Now the thing about Lucky is that you can choose which roll you want to use.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll take the original, obviously.
Yeah, but that's the thing about Lucky. It's still luck.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Bobbinus has ruled it to one reroll as opposed to unlimited rerolls.
Yeah, I noticed.
I wonder why he did that.
Because I don't want you to beat any dead horses.
All right. So.
But yes, considering the obvious wealth you have in your clothing and magic items, you are not able to get her below 500 gold pieces. Able in cash immediately.
In cash immediately. All right.
And of course, that is if you want to take her.
Yes.
I kind of don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
You guys really don't want to? I mean, she's going to be able to get us a fast route between the planets, probably.
She seems more like a liability than anything. Like,
Well, okay, the final thing I was going to say is, I will, because, okay, she's got a gambler's soul, right? Okay, so here's what we do. We say, all right, you know, we'll give you half of that up front, but if you win the race, then we give you, you know, I don't know, 500 on top of the 250 or something like that. Offer her more money, but make part of it contingent on winning.
All right. Well, not everybody has agreed so far, so I'm assuming this is what you're suggesting to the other party members.
Sure.
Ganesh just shrugs.
I think we should take her. I think it's worth it, especially if she'll accept a large part of her salary to be winning, because it'll give her an incentive to perform well. And
You think it'll be your
we'll also be guaranteed to get quite a bit of money from our
combined bet.
our own bet.
Yeah, Ganesh just outright states, if you take her, that's going to be your responsibility.
Well, no, come on, guys, we're all in this together.
All right. And
Look, if you guys don't want to take her, then we can do it democratically and not take her. I'm just making an argument here.
And Lake seems like a solid no. So, what does Lily think?
Unfortunately, I think Lily's done another BRB.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he is.
And in truth, Ganesh is kind of honestly passive, but if it came to a decision, it'd be a no.
All right. So unless Torpo changes his mind, then it's a no, I guess.
All right.
I guess we can just
Hey, you
put
got
that off until.
You got one navigator with a solid yes, one with a maybe, and so yeah, if the last one's a no, then you're not going to be out of luck.
All right. So do we want to discuss Perry then?
I honestly think Perry could be, like, one, the question that he wants to ask is not an unreasonable thing to probably want to bring to Demogorgon.
Mm-hmm.
And
now, would Demogorgon care if Perry also knows this and is going to, like, publish it or whatever? Like, does it need to be secret lore for him?
could
You
always,
really have no way of knowing.
yeah,
Damn it.
could always ask him to like hold off on publishing it right away, and then like
Yeah, like if you backstab Demogorgon, I don't think anybody's going to shame you for that.
yeah.
That's fair.
So like we can ask him like, hey, hold off on publishing this for like, I don't know, a year or two, and then go ahead, go hog wild. Of it in front of everybody who is willing to read.
Plus, you know, space is big enough that this probably won't become common lore even after it gets published.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'd probably be long gone before it becomes well known.
All right. Well, I'm inclined to agree, I suppose. Again, because I think in character, I don't feel like Aurelia would be confident that asking directly about how to get to the bottom of the abyss would work.
Right. Like that is also a thing. In character,
Mhm.
Lake doesn't think that asking directly probably be a good idea.
I mean, wasn't it said that they didn't... Was there some tidbit that they didn't go to... maybe I'm thinking of something else, but they didn't go to the outer planes or anything like that. They went to space to explore that.
What? Who went to space?
Oh, maybe I'm misremembering something I've said earlier.
Sorry, I'm just not sure like who you're talking about right now.
Don't worry about it.
Lady Solara.
Oh, so like that she might not even know. Yeah, I'm not clear on whether she's like actually omniscient or exactly how her enlightenment works. So
Yeah. Everybody talking about her is only speculating.
Also,
About how she gets her knowledge, but they are
Fair.
confident in her results enough to run this race every decade.
that's fair. I also feel like asking a question about like a theoretical future course of action feels riskier than asking a question about like the present or the past, you know? I don't know if that's actually true, but it feels more like Perry's question just feels a lot safer. Even if it will involve extra work in terms of going into Demogorgon's realm or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I would vote that we
Accept Perry and his condition.
Yeah.
yes. And Torpo, just for what it's worth, I am voting. My suggestion, just because you weren't here for it, was that we offer to like give her a larger fee, but make a large part of it contingent on our winning the race, so that she has an incentive to do well and not fuck around or whatever.
And I was still.
I know you were. I just wanted to make my point, so Torpo has all the information.
No, I get it. I don't trust her.
Okay, so we'll tell her that we're not interested at the price. Sorry.
Especially someone so steeped in debt that's just asking for trouble.
I suppose.
Right. So,
Well, debt in the way that she is in debt to a lot of shady people for gambling.
Yeah, I mean, I did consider that she.
and you're about to
Could
engage in something that people you know are betting on.
Yes,
Yep.
I did consider that a risk, which is why I wanted the incentive structure. But anyway, that's
a bomb in our tire well.
Yeah,
that's fine.
That's been determined. So
So we're taking Perry, and we're taking sorry, I forgot her name.
Relosa.
Rolosa. Oh yeah, whatever happened to the prince from whose name I forget, from the Empire of Gold, since we were
Yeah.
talking about it.
I mean, he's.
Did he end up settling in Viana? Or did he go
Bless you.
somewhere else?
I think we determined that you placed him with a noble family in Vienna.
Cool. Well,
One that was
hope he's doing
interested
well.
in having children but incapable of producing them.
Okay. Neat. Well, maybe we should check in on him sometimes, make sure he's doing okay.
Alright.
Just the thought occurred to me because we were talking about it. Anyway, all right, so we've got our team assembled, I suppose. We do need to figure out how to enter the race, but I assume that's not exactly difficult information to come by.
Like didn't the bookie straight up tell us, like, once we've determined our team, we just go to him, he'll tell us where to go.
Yeah, and Relosa could also tell you where to
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
where it officially begins.
All right.
and,
Do we know when it officially begins? Is it like...
Within the next few days.
Okay. I figured it was something
So-
like that. Wow, we have good timing. Get to the Modron March
Are you
right when it's starting. We get
Are you
here
sure
to
that
this
you
race
have
right
good
when it's
timing,
starting.
though?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of making a joke, but yeah.
All right, but the race will begin, and you will have an opportunity to speak to the other racers next time. But before then, I do have one last thing I wanted to do,
Oh, look at that!
which was give you the map.
Finally,
It's
after all these
Fodor.
years.
Oh, look at that. We're fucking the third planet. Let's fucking horse.
Now,
Yep.
here's a question. If Onos is the god of the sky, is he also the god of space?
No.
Alright, well, you say so.
However, according to at least your creation myths, Mynth is responsible for creating most of the other planets in this system.
Cool.
I mean, I suppose that's entirely possible.
But yes, that is the sun at the center.
North
Two,
lights.
a total of 4 inner planets. Storal is the largest asteroid in the belt, and then 2 outer planets.
Both gas giants, I'm guessing.
Yes. Gas giants do not have breathable atmospheres or Earth-like gravity.
Well, I mean, they
However, their
presumably,
moons do.
yeah, I was about to say, presumably they
Mhm.
have like at least one moon that is inhabited.
And also, you
Okay.
cannot stand on the sun unless you are from the plane of fire.
That
Dang
sounds like
it!
a challenge.
You saw right through my no. No amount of fire
But
resistant
hold
armor.
on. We can't stand on the sun, but if we can stand on the sun, does it have Earth-like gravity and a breathable atmosphere?
Hard to say.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it can't have Earth-like gravity. If it had Earth-like gravity, the solar system wouldn't work. So,
To be
Well,
fair, it
you
doesn't work
say
like our
that.
solar system.
oh god.
But Earth, the Greyhawk setting,
Mhm.
explicitly has a geocentric system,
Yeah. Okay.
and its sun is relatively small, like only the size of its moon.
Well, fair enough.
Stop the recording now.